Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Ticking Together. Hi. In this video, I wanted to do a brief explanation explaining my last two videos where I talk about TikTokers who fake Tourette syndrome. I realize I got rice. I realize that there's been a lot of criticism over my last video where I reacted to a certain individual, TicsandRoses, about their fake Tourette syndrome kind of experience. And it was to my understanding that TicsandRoses as an individual had been exposed for faking. Their family had come forward and said, this person does not have Tourette syndrome. They have Huntington's, which cannot be diagnosed as a comorbid disorder together. They cannot be diagnosed in the same person. And it was my understanding that Emerald TicsandRoses genuinely was faking. And I took the family's kind of explanation as the truth. So I wanted to make a video pointing out the tics that they were having that I thought were maybe a little bit far-fetched or a little bit not believable. And it has come to my attention, I got rice. It has come to my attention that a lot of people have said, but you haven't considered the whole scenario. And this is true. I received a comment saying I could not necessarily say that they were fake because they could have perhaps hid their tics from their family. And maybe their family didn't know that they had Tourette syndrome. And this is plausible. This is definitely a possibility. It's a possibility to hide your tics from your family, because this is something I do on the daily. I hide my severe tics, or my most severe and complex tics, from my family. My parents do not approve of seeing me tic. They're very, very uncomfortable seeing me tic because it's a complete lack of control in someone they love, their daughter. And so TicsandRoses could have been hiding their tics from their family, and this is something that I never considered. I was genuinely just going off of the fact that they had been exposed by so many other people, that their documentation of their diagnosis was indeed fabricated or supposedly fabricated. And I just was really going off what I saw online, and I was going off my opinions, and my opinions are not always right. Just as your opinions are not always right, everyone has their own opinions, and these are not factual. So it might have been a little bit of a mistake to point out TicsandRoses and their tics, or their tics, they could be real, but I was genuinely just commenting on that individual specifically because, as I said, it was my genuine belief that the facts that I was seeing saying they were fake were true. And so you may have noted in that video where I reacted to TicsandRoses that I said some of their tics were annoying or irking or upsetting or just bizarre. And this is strictly in that situation just because I was going at it with the lens, the kind of rose-colored glasses that they were faking. So I was going at it as, oh, this individual is faking, so they must, like, these tics are just upsetting in the way that they're mocking us. But now that I've kind of taken a step back and realized maybe they do have Tourette's, in my previous videos I've talked about, I got rice, I've talked about how, you can never truly tell if someone is faking Tourette syndrome because everyone's tics present so differently. And this is on my part where I messed up because TicsandRoses, again, even though they have been exposed, I believed their tics were forced or staged because, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, it looked like they took every single tic from a big Tourette's influencer and compiled it into one video. And it looked like they were just taking all of the content that they knew were valid in some cases and mashing it up and making it their own tic. So it was upsetting. I also want to mention that tics can be super complex, just like TicsandRoses did have and present. I never, ever, ever want to say that someone's tics aren't valid. I know I said Ticks and Roses weren't valid, but again, this was coming from the lens that they had been exposed. And this is again on me. Hi. Hi, dog. Oof. Good girl. So tics can be super complex. I know, for example, when Ticks and Roses said that they poured some water on the counter and said some for the counter, my reaction was a little bit uncalled for because it could be a complex tic. Tics can present that way. And I feel really bad because, again, I know I've said this, but I was going at it at the lens that they were a fraud and they were gaining profit from something they didn't have. But I've really been my eyes have really opened to the fact that if they were hiding their tics from their family, maybe their family would claim that they didn't have Tourette's, because I know a lot of my family members and extended family members never see the extent of my tics because I suppress. And so it's not fair of me to say because their family said that they don't have tics, that they don't have tics, you know? My dog farted. At the end of the day, only the person inside themselves can know if they have Tourette syndrome. And this is where I'm wrong. And if Ticks and Roses does have Tourette's, like, I hope that they're doing okay. Honestly, the tics that they were dealing with, if they are valid, like those complex tics, are so brutal to deal with. And I can't even imagine what it would be like if their tics truly are that severe. So again, this is kind of an apology, kind of not. I just wanted to say that, like, opinions are opinions. I was reacting with the lens that Ticks and Roses was already exposed, but now hearing commenters saying maybe they are valid and maybe they have just experienced extreme bullying. I don't want to contribute to bullying. I know that fake claiming any disorder is so harmful. I have been fake claimed numerous times about my Tourette's because I do suppress. And so really, I have no right to be saying that someone's faking. You have no right to be saying that someone is faking, because at the end of the day, only that individual knows deep down who they are, who they truly are, what they're experiencing. And the stigma for Tourette syndrome is already so brutal that fake claiming just makes it worse. And even though people like Ticks and Roses, was exposed by their family, it really should be taken with a grain of salt, because any family could really do that to someone if they had maybe miscommunication or if they had kind of grown apart. So really, as viewers and as people who are not that person, we know only what they showcase us online. TikTok has 1 to 3 minute clips. We never truly know what goes on behind the scenes. And I just kind of wanted to say, like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, because it's just, Tourette syndrome in itself is such a complex disorder. It is so misunderstood. And I truly, genuinely believe that everyone with the disorder will present differently. So it's not fair for me to say Ticks and Roses is a fraud when they could just be experiencing way different tics than I myself experience. I do have complex tics. I know a lot of my viewers have complex tics. And it's just, again, it's really hard to pinpoint who's faking, who's not. So why not just give everyone the benefit of the doubt and be kind? And I just wanted to come on here and document right now, I will probably never make another video reacting to someone who I believe is fake, because fake claiming is in itself a form of bullying, and I don't condone that at all. And so I just wanted to apologize again and say, like, maybe I shouldn't be sharing all of my opinions and beliefs online. I believe I have a right to, and I truly think that some of Ticks and Roses' tics were exaggerated, but that's not to say they don't genuinely have a tic disorder, where perhaps their tics were really bad that day, or maybe they were exaggerating it for the camera. You know, social media can really change a person, and so as soon as they started getting traction and views, I got rice. 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 Maybe they were, I got rice. I got rice. As soon as they started getting views, I got rice. As soon as they started getting views, maybe they changed their content to have more tics. I don't know. And I never will know, and that's just the truth about it. So yeah, again, I really apologize if I upset anyone by reacting to Ticks and Roses and talking about how some of their complex tics looked bizarre, because I know my tics that aren't complex look bizarre, but I can say that about myself because I just think they're weird. But it's not to say that people can't be empowered about their tics. They can't laugh about their tics, because it is sometimes funny. And I just wanted to mention one more time that I did say that Ticks and Roses shouldn't be laughing about their tics because they're not funny. And this is a genuine belief of mine that people with Tourette's don't laugh after every one of their tics, but I have received comments saying some people do. So again, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be a bully, I don't want to be inconsiderate, so I'm just going to end it here and say I apologize if I offended anyone. Ugh. And I hope you guys are well. And again, I probably won't react anymore because people kind of came at me and said I was in the wrong, when in reality I was just latching on to the fact that society had supposedly already exposed this individual, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe everyone's wrong. So you never know. Bye.